Mining iron is quite different than mining copper or silver. Instead of working out in the open, you'll need to find sunken crypts throughout the swamp biome. To gain access to the crypts, you will need the swamp key in your inventory, which is dropped by the Black Forest boss, the Elder. The other item you will need is either an antler or bronze pickaxe. Once you've opened a crypt, it will stay open. Upon entering a crypt, you will find yourself in the middle of a central hall with wings to either side of you. Each one will have multiple rooms, and some layouts can be tricky to navigate. Some doorways may be blocked by muddy scrap piles, and will need to be cleared with your pickaxe to proceed. Conveniently, clearing them is how iron is mined in the form of scrap iron. Looking into the crypt with our backs to the entrance, we generally start exploring the wing to our right. Let's call it wing number 1. We refer to the other wings as shown, with number 2 being directly ahead of us and number 3 on the left. Once we start exploring a wing, there's a simple strategy we like to use to make sure we never miss a room. We make only right turns until we've gone through every room in that wing. As you proceed through the crypt, you'll encounter 3 ways to collect scrap iron. The first way is through mining muddy scrap piles, of which there are 3 types. The first type is a pile that's simply sitting on the ground. Make sure to check the ground for any leftover slivers after mining the bulk of the scrap pile. The last 2 types both block doorways. When mining muddy scrap piles that block doorways leading into another room, there will often be pieces of the pile that extend beyond the dimensions of the doorway. Make sure to check these, as the amount of ore left behind can add up. For the piles in front of doorways that don't lead anywhere and are blocked by rubble, you will often find remaining pieces of muddy scrap between the rubble. If you carefully aim your pickaxe, you can sometimes mine them. Oozers have a 33% chance to drop scrap iron, and you'll sometimes find some in chests. Each time you pass a central hall, you should stop, turn off auto pickup, and drop off all scrap iron collected onto the entrance platform. Feel free to drop off anything else you don't want to carry, as we will collect it all later. Make sure that everything lands on the platform. When you're ready to leave, jump onto the platform, collect your loot, and walk out encumbered without issue. While in the crypts, you will encounter several enemy types, including oozers, blobs, and draugr, which can be melee or ranged, and draugr elite. Oozers and blobs apply poison damage, and both are susceptible to blunt damage. They cannot be staggered. Oozers divide into 2 blobs when you kill them. You will also encounter body piles, which continue to spawn enemies until destroyed, similar to the gray dwarf nests that you may have encountered in the Black Forest. Leaving the body piles intact is a great way to farm draugr for entrails and trophies. Collect all the yellow mushrooms you find. You'll want them for making stamina mead. You will also come across withered bones, of which you need 10 to summon Bone Mass, the swamp boss. While in the crypts, you may encounter a Bone Mass Vegvisir. Register it to have its location added to your map. Here are 6 additional tips. When you first enter a crypt, build a campfire inside to remove the wet effect and refresh your rested buff. Make sure you're rested at all times. When clearing sunken crypts, leave a piece of muddy scrap pile on the floor to prevent enemies from reaching you. Use your bow or stag breaker's 4-meter range to kill melee enemies and destroy body piles. Use poison resistance mead when fighting oozers, blobs, and leeches. The duration of the poison debuff and the amount of damage taken will be greatly reduced. Use a mace when fighting oozers, blobs, and skeletons, as they are weak to blunt damage. Draugr Elite and Starred Draugr can be parried with a bronze buckler. They can't be parried with a wooden shield. Use a cart to haul ore and carry as much weight as possible on your person without becoming encumbered. Use a portal to transport everything else. Now that you have lots of iron, what should you craft first? Our number 1 recommendation is a longship, which requires 10 iron to make the iron nails necessary to build the ship. Before setting sail for the swamp, bring 6 copper bars with you to build a forge on site. This will allow you to craft the iron nails in the swamp. The carve has 4 cargo slots, while the longship has 18. This is the difference between sailing 120 ore back to base at a time versus 540. The more iron you can haul, the more items you can craft later, so delayed gratification goes a long way here. We also recommend saving 10 iron on the side to build a second longship, just in case the first one goes missing. The next item you should craft is an iron pickaxe to mine iron more efficiently. Next, an iron mace, which is great against blobs, oozers, and Bone Mass himself. And finally, an iron buckler will help with survivability in the swamp. As always, thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.